Shimano's XTR group has always been about low weight and maximum performance. But as we all know, it can be a pretty rough and sometimes rocky world out there. The abuse that your average trail or enduro bike needs to be able to handle these days is remarkable. And I don't know about you, but it's never my bike that's holding me back. When I inevitably make that mistake, that rock jumps out in front of me, my drivetrain needs to be able to handle those impacts so I can continue my ride. Today, we're going to speak directly with the people responsible for making the new Shimano XTR, and specifically the new features that make it the most durable drivetrain Shimano has ever offered. You're gonna smash one of these things into a rock. Which one is gonna stay in the ring for another round? Computers, brains, and air-conditioned offices are one thing, but proving these concepts out on the rigors of the trail is really the only place you can separate the weak from the robust. The Shimano Skunk Team is the living embodiment of trail testing.
The benefits of wireless electronic shifting, that has been the clear demand from the market. And at the same time, having a derailleur that can take a hit and survive it.
How in the world did it survive that?
We're gonna see the wedge shape of the derailleur. Basically, as you go by the rock, it's gonna push the derailleur inboard. The derailleur relies on the free rotation around the B-axle. That allows it to pivot and be pushed out of the way of an obstacle. At the same time, a torque limiter activates, and the derailleur body also moves inward. Then the impact recovery feature will automatically return the derailleur to its original position. Robustness isn't just about being strong, it's really about the whole package. That's why I was really excited. This was the thing I was most excited about, was to show it actually take a hit and recover from it with no interruption from the ride. That is what robustness is.
Consider me impressed, but I still need a bit more background about how all this came to be.
We went through a lot of different prototypes over the years. Started with a simpler, smaller stabilizer, fitted inside a smaller package at the leading edge especially, and then based the whole derailleur shape off of that. And then that actually made the linkage wider so that it was a lot stronger, and it also opened up a space to put the battery inside. So we've got a super protected battery. And it was kind of really clean and elegant how everything came together.
I had the pleasure of chatting with Yuta Mizutani. Yuta is a longtime Shimano employee who has recently been working at the Shimano America office. He's been focusing on RD, or rear derailleur, technology and design. Catch. So Yuta, you mentioned earlier, you and the team, you've been working on this derailleur for 4 years. There's so much innovative tech here. I mean, we're talking about a wireless derailleur that can be smacked by an object and returned back to where it belongs.
We designed this derailleur for the escape from the impact. So that means this is kind of the slider. So the obstacle come here and then slide here.
You made the decision to stick with the traditional derailleur hanger. What led to that decision?
So we realized that this pivot point is very important for the escape from the impact. So that's the one reason, so we stick to the derailleur hanger. The other reason, when the impact here, and then that energy go through to the frame next, we want to control and manage the failure point. So that's another reason to stick to the hanger.
Talk about riding on the edge. Brent Atkinson, another one of the skunk riders, has an ideal riding style for pushing derailleur architecture to the outer limits. I went for a ride with Brent and learned how the all-new XTR stays smooth, strong, and out of the way.
I just basically want the derailleur shifter to just do its job, right? It's like the brakes and everything they really have to work, right? When you need to stop, you need to be able to stop. But as far as shifting goes, it really needs to be kind of a thing that just happens automatically, essentially, you know? Smooth, strong shifting and a derailleur that stays out of the way. We have the choice to run the 945 on the back with a shorter cage derailleur and kind of just keep that cage just tucked up and out of the way. That can be the difference between, you know, cartwheeling through the bushes after you tag something or, you know, or not.
Shimano is obviously a provider of what we're discussing here, but being able to see the people, the factories, and the brain power for all levels of cycling solutions is powerful. Visiting the Shimano headquarters in Osaka, Japan is an absolute honor. Founded over 100 years ago, Shimano is well respected and known for its aluminum capabilities. This is why it was great to see them pushing the boundaries even further and to see what this magic material can continue to do for us as riders. All right, Zach. Shimano's known as masters of aluminum. What makes this crank different?
Basically went back to the HOLLOWTECH II construction because we are very confident about the strength and weight balance. We made the spindle wall thicker for enduro crank. Cross-country crank stays the same, but for enduro, we wanted to make it burlier. We also have our first machined aluminum chainring. So let's say right foot forward, then you get impact here, so we have more material here, but on the backside, there's less material.
Kind of a way to save some weight, but not really compromise it. Building for elite racers informs how the products hold up for the rest of us. Getting Richie's perspective and his unique demands really helps me understand the levels that Shimano goes to in order to make this all-new XTR drivetrain endure even the most demanding racers.
Yeah, with enduro, it's like we push the limits pretty hard of kind of what our trail bikes can do. So like we end up picking like a bit stronger parts or just stuff like we know that will be like super durable. With the new XTR, like yeah, I can kind of see with, you know, the cranks, the derailleur, and the brakes, everything's a little bit stronger.
When you're building your bike, what is the part that you need to be the strongest to give you the confidence to just smash and be able to ride the line that you see as the fastest?
I mean, I guess for me, it's always like the contact points. So handlebars, grips, pedals, cranks, and stuff like that. Just like, you know, the points that you're on and you can feel it kind of the most through the bike. And it's been great. Like we've talked to some of the engineers in Shimano and we've worked with a couple things and kind of some things I was thinking about with the cranks and they've listened to that. So now we got like almost a Saint-like strength crank on our enduro bike. So that's pretty cool.
I like to think of these system-based group sets as a family unit. They're all working together as one, but each individual has their own personality. Seeing the robust personality of the derailleur displayed was hands down one of the crazier things I've ever seen on the trail. The people and the brain power behind this tech are genius. They've been working on making this a reality for many years. Thankfully, we all now get to experience this amazing riding group. That's all I have to say about that. Make sure you watch our other XTR tech videos where we dive deep into the brakes and the new shifter.